of Orb on the Moons of the Earth, the anime series. Actually, all good to go, I believe, as well. I just refresh for no reason. Actually, all good to go. So yes, I do apologize. I sound a little bit off today, so I'm actually quite sick. I have no idea why. I think my body just despises me that much. So if I sound a bit more raspy than usual, my thoughts kind of go a little bit wavy. It's because of that. And I mean, go try and get more back to more usual schedule this week. Hopefully, and nothing else happens in the meantime. And yeah, anyway, so today actually are watching episode 20 of Orb on the Moons of the Earth, the anime series. As we know, episode 19 was all accounts brilliant, as always. Not really anything out of the ordinary, to be honest. This series is like absolutely perfect. There's like nothing really ever wrong with it. People do kind of say the production, I can probably say maybe, I guess, but is it really hinder me in any way, shape, or form? Not really. And yeah, I mean, the conversations and the voice acting and the characters do make up for what is in some cases possibly a problem to certain people with the animation. But yeah, seeing Jolenta back and seeing like how much those years in between really affected her is it goes long way to actually kind of like contextualize it because we haven't seen it. We're only seeing it from a visual standpoint, and the visuals did really show that her mannerisms as well, her like her way of speaking and everything like that is so different to how she was when she was younger that you would kind of you can kind of say like she's a completely different person. I mean, it's literally that, but if you know what I mean. We used to make Jolenta from prior arc to now. They're two entirely different people. So that's what I like about this show as well. The visual storytelling does really up the actual anime as well because you do really see it. The manga does do it because manga always does in theory evoke what how much it costs to actually get to this one point. But I feel like the anime does that even more so. Anyway, it's actually put on Twitch actually gone live. Trying to get my thoughts out. This gonna be fucking impossible. Right, okay. We are there. Right, so also remember I'm not on Mac. So I keep forgetting that part. Streaming. What am I doing? Holy shit. Come by and get comfy as we watch some more orb. Right, cool. And we're good to go. Let me move that over to the other page on Twitch so I actually can, in theory, get the actual proper stats going. And as I always do, say, get a show on the road. Let's start this thing in 3, 2, 1. Let's start this thing absolutely now. Oh, they turned down slightly. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. To an extent, you can probably say, well, it's obvious that she wouldn't be the same person she was when she was younger, but it really does contextualize like the journey, so to speak. In other shows and other mediums, you just see a person get older. That's about it. You don't really see it on their face or anywhere else or in the way they speak. But I do kind of feel like here they've really nailed how much she's changed. Yeah, but I kind of feel like this show is it's I keep saying it, but it is. It's brilliant. Like it really is. Like I love the passage of time in this show because it does it in such an organic way that it doesn't really feel like, "Oh, okay, so 10 years have passed," basically. In other shows, time skips tend to be a problem. It's indicative of if the show's gonna get axed or the manga will get axed. But what I liked here, the passage of time feels organic to the actual, like, what's going on in the world. And it really does show it. It doesn't really kind of feel like, oh yeah, by the way, religion isn't like so prevalent nowadays. People are starting to revolt against the church and stuff like that. No, you see it from the people as well. Like it's less. It's not just world events. It's more so on a personal level. And also, what I kind of liked as well is the idea of how it explores conviction as well with the characters. Like No Light's conviction to end heliocentrism is a very personal conviction when you think about it. You could maybe draw parallels between him and Draka's uncle in the way that it could be his undoing, because him trying to end heliocentrism is a futile concept because like our Deuterino said in the beginning, he said you will never get rid of it. It always will be there. And I kind of feel like that's the problem. He's trying to erase something that can't be erased. And I feel like in that way his conviction will be his undoing, but I guess we'll see. As it's just stuff like that. I like how it does explore the duality of conviction. Also, I don't think I ever mentioned it beforehand because it's one of those things that I did pick up it a little bit later. Is in the prior opening, Dracula leaves the scene. In this one, she stays. I thought it's actually quite interesting as well. Little minor detail. I thought it's actually quite cool. God, this show's so good. I say it so often, but my God, it's like characters who aren't like the main characters who would even have like such a nuanced character. It's so like it's something you don't see. Like having secondary characters like have such a interesting outlook and also such a rich history behind them as well. Doesn't it really feel like they're just there? They're trying to find their own answers in this world. Also, like the way this show looks at death is quite interesting as well. It's always in a very, it's not in a, usual, 'cause it was kind of, don't get me wrong, it started way back with Raffle as well, but I kind of feel like who planted the seeds for the whole concept was Akosi, the idea of how he saw people never happy once they reached death. But then as time went on, he slowly started to see people slowly, like, smile. I always like how the show looks at the concept of death. It's very interesting. Even though the stars are still quite a prominent character in this show, I kind of felt like the sun even more so now is more. I feel like the sun's even more of a is even more of a character in this show now, thanks to Schmidt. God damn, god damn. Like I said, it's impressive how this show does have such nuanced characters in such a short space of time. It's like, don't get me wrong, it should be obvious this kind of thing, like making characters this good in such a short space of time, but it's like you just don't see it that often, and it's like impressive how this show does it in basically in less than 10 episodes. Well, Potocki, will you ever get that side of the profits though? My man's still waiting for it. I swear this show doesn't reach like top 10 by the end of the season. Oh Mal, it'd be a fucking injustice. I do actually like that this show does sort of tell us that really we all are part of history. We're not even how small we are in this universe. We all do contribute to history itself, and I kind of feel like it's actually a really nice way of like giving meaning to all of us in a way. It's kind of an uplifting message. Directions episode is actually fantastic. My god, there is some parallels you could draw between this episode and the one where Kozi actually accepts heliocentrism as well. And the OST as well. Oh no, you poor dude. Oh boy, howdy. This. Oh, if only he knew. If only he knew. God, I love this show so much, but it's breaking my fucking heart. I'm trying not trying to think about it too much. Hit it with the aspect ratio as well. Again, she dies with a smile on her face. Isn't she? It's like Cosy said. It's tragic in both ways because technically now we've lost pretty much everyone we've been following since way back when. The only we have left from the original art besides the other dude is Noag. And what makes it more sad is the fact that if you look at it from the perspective of Noak, he never got to see his daughter ever again, and the last moment he saw of her, she went kaboom. So it's there is a to give Noak some like slack a little bit. It's the fact that he is also a tragic character in all of this. I hate this show so much. I don't want to feel sadness all the time, bro. I'm experiencing peak at this while systematically experiencing sadness and depression. Well, shit, bro. That's what we're ending on as well. So I imagine one I'm waiting for might be episode 23. I imagine. Maybe even earlier. I'm not too sure. It might be 22. my sense of pacing this show out is like absolutely dreadful. 'Cause I thought this would be next week's episode, or it might end on something else happening, and then it'll go into that. But yeah, I mean, like always, brilliant episode. The direction itself was exquisite. It was amazing. And yeah, I mean, like I said, we've basically lost everyone we've been following this entire time since the beginning, really. Because now it's only the new characters left, besides Noak, of course. Noak's the last character who's really from the prior arcs. He's kind of the thread that kind of sews through all the entire arcs, and also technically is one of the most tragic characters in the whole entire show in a roundabout way. Because I don't really view Noak as an evil character in the usual context. Don't get me wrong, Suda Kent always voices morally grey characters. It's kind of his. That's his shtick in a way. He doesn't voice outright evil characters. He voices characters who don't really, see eye to eye with everything. That's why I always liked him as a voice actor. But in this show specifically, he is very tragic because him pursuing the end of heliocentrism has kind of led to a life of being alone, basically. We don't know what's going to happen at the end of this all because, let's be real, we're not at the end. Well, not the end of the show just yet. But going by what's happening currently, you can tell like it's almost his ruin in a way. Like him pursuing this whole entire thing is his ruin, and it doesn't feel like it's ever going to get any better because now the lasting memory he has, or the lasting thing he has of his daughter that he doesn't know just yet, because he doesn't even know it's his daughter. That's the thing. The lasting thing he has left is the hand. I kind of feel like he might have an inkling that it's her because it always was a little bit kind of conflicted whether or not they do understand that one another is there in the manga, and I read it because it's one of those things that if he doesn't know, it makes it more tragic because she died in front of him and he doesn't know that's her, so he'll never be able to avenge her because she's dead, and well, she's dead twice, so to speak, in this context. And what's he gonna do? How will he ever avenge her anyway? Because like I've been saying this whole entire time, and like Raffle said, you will never get rid of heliocentrism. Like heliocentrism will always exist in history. It's always going to be there. It's a futile attempt to kind of get rid of it, but he's still going for it, and it's sad because it's ruining him as well. I sort of, like I said during the prior arcs, I sort of get why he would be opposed to heliocentrism and also be opposed to people who go against God, because like he says, God gives you everything. Why would you ever go against him? So I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, it sort of then goes. Did it say a word that wasn't correct in the subtitles? I think I would say heliocentrism. I don't think it actually got it. Anyway, um, what I was trying to now got retain my train of thought. What I kind of feel like is with Noak's character, he doesn't. It's the way he conducts himself that's the issue, and it kind of goes back to the whole idea with the church. The church is kind of got the exact same issue. The way they conduct themselves is kind of the undoing in all of this. It's sort of he's not doing it out of pursuit of like helping the church or like doing anything like that. It's a personal. It's personal. We see in the opening like the eyes he has, and then what and the reason, and he's kept the actual necklace as well. You could tell it's personal. I mean, it's obvious because it involves his daughter, but you know what I mean. It's less to do, or it's less a mission of God and more so a mission for himself to kind of like possibly absolve him of what happened with Jolenta as well, and also then bring an end to it all. But he can't. It's impossible. And I kind of feel like that's the issue with his character. And I feel like that is never going to be fixed at all because he always will be doing the same thing. He always will be go. He always will, in theory. He always will in theory lose the battle because there's no way in hell he actually ever can destroy heliocentrism and subsequently also avenge anyone because how can he? There's no. It's not. Who could he? How could he avenge Jolenta at all? There's no. It's not a physical way to do it, so to speak. Because yeah, he can then hit heliocentrism, but it doesn't bring her back, and it doesn't. It also doesn't really fix the issue at the center of it all because he is the issue, so to speak. That's why I like his character a lot because he's very multidimensional in that way. He's not an evil person, so to speak, in the kind of in the context of like if you look at other shows. Not putting in the same kind of breath as Griffith or in the same breath as like maybe the guy from Monster and like that, but he's very multifaceted in that kind of way. That he isn't so cut and dry when it comes to morality, and also that he's not just an evil character you see in other shows or other mediums. He's actually more layered than that. It's what I like. And what I also kind of like as well is the idea of actually how it examines the concept of conviction as well. Because like I said beforehand, it's sort of starting to kind of flip the idea of conviction on its head. Beforehand, the conviction is what you needed to go forward with, but in the same time, if you don't confront that and actually be able to and actually like face the consequences that come with it or the actual complications that come with it as well, are you really like is that really your conviction? I kind of feel like that's actually now the forefront of the narrative as well, that actually how Schmidt tells her like you're gonna have to face these things is quite brilliant, because it's one of those things that she's gonna have to face these kind of things now, because it's not such a cut and dry thing. They're gonna go to point A to point B and just be merry, essentially. As Jolenta kind of pointed out, it's a road carved. Is it road carved in blood, or road carved in thorns, or something like that? The saying. It's not something that you can just go forward with and be merry and be out of your way. I mean, it's point proven with Noack as well. But like I said, is that whole idea that you're never going to be able to actually go through this without facing some kind of level of complication, and now we're actually seeing it. And yeah, I mean, above all else, this show is fucking brilliant. I say it so often, but it is. It's just that darn good. I'm sick, and I came back to actually watch this episode. That's how much I love this show. Oh man, it's nothing like it. It really isn't. The direction as well. There might have been some anime original content in there with especially with Jolenta as well. I'm not too sure if that might be the case. I think I go back and reread volume 7. I think this actually appears in, and see if that's the case, because I can't remember if they actually do see her face before the explosion. Because if that's the case, I kind of like that you actually see her face in the explosion as well. Because again, it kind of heightens the idea of what Akoji was saying, that beforehand no one was actually seeing happiness before they died, and now we're seeing people, happy, so to speak. And like I said during the stream itself, it's very interesting how this show examines the idea of death as well. Like I said, it's not very many shows that tend to do that in a very, very nuanced way, but this show does it in a very kind of cool way. So yeah, I'm gonna preserve my voice a little bit more, because my voice is starting to like kind of disappear a little bit. So I will end it there for today. Hopefully next week, if all goes well, I might be able to be back to a normal-ish schedule, and might be able to do some more manga as well. I'm just praying that nothing else happens in the meantime. And yeah, I'm gonna lie down for a long ass while, rethink life and all those things. So, as always, yeah, she have enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on Twitch. And as always, do follow on Twitch, where you do see streams live. If she have then enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on YouTube. And as always, do leave a like, does help quite a bit. Leave a sub as well, both do help quite a lot. If you have then enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on YouTube. And as always, do follow on Twitter as well, helps quite a bit. Also, you will then know when new streams are live and any other streams I may do as well. Thank you once again for actually being here with me to watch this episode. It's actually watching this show is one of my highlights of the week. So until next episode 21, covering the final stretch now. Until then, see you guys later. Bye for now.